Hoover. Because we have finally come to terms with the fact that the appeal of a narcissist is no longer able to fascinate us, we have arrived at a crucial juncture. Divine signals and the cosmos come together to present us with information that we ought to have understood sooner. It is not only that narcissists devalue us, but they also sully our reputations. Narcissists are poisonous. As a result, we choose to start on a journey that will alter every aspect of our being, including our soul, heart, brain, and mind. We remodel ourselves physically, spiritually, and intellectually until every urge to reconnect with them disappears into thin air through the process of reshaping ourselves completely. Some people believe that avoiding contact with them is the most effective approach to protect ourselves from the manipulative charms they possess. Yet, there are situations when this is not sufficient. There are times when we reach a point where the burning hues of adulation no longer have any charm, and their poisoned grass, also known as the Hoover, hangs menacingly, daring us to take action. Confrontation is often the most effective course of action in situations like this. This is not about being nasty. Rather, it is about bringing the truth to light. I am sure that they are aware of the fact that the extent of their narcissism is revolting. It is possible for you to convey to them, "I am no longer interested in your existence and the devil that you represent. I'm apathetic to your existence now, and I'm going on," or any other statements that touch closer to their home are examples of phrases that could be used. Frolic with your other victims. The pain of being rejected is sufficient to do damage to their delicate ego, but phrases that are emotionally charged amplify the impact of the situation. It is imperative that they come to terms with the fact that clinging to their watered-down ideas will not suffice. The reason for their retreat into extended periods of solitude, in which they imagine that there is still hope for a return, can be explained by this understanding. Take solace in the knowing that it is not their responsibility to free you from their control. Because you are destined for a future that is far different from their web of illusions, it is your job to make the decision to cut ties, to accept the complicated complexity of your journey, and to take pleasure in the moments of revelation and growth. In the event that we all reach that definitive moment, where we forcefully declare ourselves with the words, "Narcissist, you will never again be allowed to linger in the halls of my life," we will have reached our destination. Reconciliation is nothing more than an illusion that will never be within your reach. If I were to tell you, "I do not permit you to enter my private sanctum or to have any kind of personal conversation with me," then I would like for that to be the moment that we part ways. Allow the words you leave behind to conjure a kaleidoscope of feelings and insights, where your individual experiences fade into the background and make room for a communal point of view. The message that we take away from the discourse on narcissism is that we should avoid re-establishing any kind of connection with them. Nevertheless, as time passes, a peculiar form of gratitude develops for those individuals who are courageous enough to break the silence. The flow of words is effortless, finding a careful balance that neither hurts nor gives them an excessive amount of comfort. The ability to communicate effectively brings together previous deceptions and future hopes, affording the opportunity to pursue a variety of diverse avenues. However, there is always a sense of the underlying truth that if things do not work out, it is for the best. This is something that is always present. The narcissist was obstinate in his refusal to provide us the right to closure, even though it was already ours. Instead, they remained in the shadows, acting as quiet observers, and they hacked into our digital lives in order to acquire an unwelcome glance into our private worlds. They may have used a shared email account, or they may have sneaked a dangerous program onto our devices, but the method by which they accomplished this remains a mystery. It is possible that the narcissist would alter their strategies in order to manipulate us, or to hack into our lives after they are aware that they will never return to our lives. Despite this, we must maintain our resolve and never give in to their attempts to manipulate us. It is imperative that we reaffirm our limits and continue to insist that their dangerous behavior constitutes an insurmountable barrier to our reconciliation. It is clear that they are dishonest, as evidenced by the fact that they began looking through our dating profiles while utilizing the insignia of the Illuminati to convey the message that they are constantly monitoring our activities. Permit this time to serve as a declaration that cutting relationships with narcissistic individuals is accompanied by a complex web of issues. Let us continue to be watchful in the protection of our borders, conscious of the challenges that lie ahead of us, and unwavering in our determination to express our independence. In the face of a calculated slander campaign that is orchestrated by these folks, the process of navigating the dense labyrinth that is a narcissistic meeting becomes even more convoluted. In spite of the fact that they have committed wrongdoings in the past, they boldly seek to carry out the sneaky Hoover move. Nevertheless, we are unwavering in our determination, since we have already turned down their advances. This defining moment in our journey toward transformation marks the moment when we come to the knowledge that we no longer have any desire for them to come back. As a result of this realization, which was developed via months or even years of struggling with unresolved concerns in their lingering absence, the futility that defined our investment of time and energy is revealed. On the other hand, what drives us forward is a firm faith in a higher power, whether that power is an all-powerful deity or the cosmic forces that control our existence. It is inevitable that there will come a point when their presence will no longer be appealing to us, regardless of where we are that we are currently on the path to healing. Every single one of us needs to reach that critical point in time where the whole idea of the narcissist coming back is rendered meaningless and disappears into oblivion. This huge transformation in our energy and dynamics reverberates across the ether, finally reaching their consciousness and causing them to pursue us with a fervent desire. Fear not, however, for we are now in possession of the reins of control. And in the event that we find ourselves in a position where we are required to interact with them, it is very necessary for us to keep our feelings in check and accept their mode of operation. An unsettling invasion of my privacy occurred when my phone was hacked, and my accomplishments were generated as a result of this intrusion. Looking back, it is clear that this occurred. Considering that I didn't become aware of this until I noticed unusual images showing on my computer, it's an incredible realization. Considering that I have very little to no experience with technology, I found it really perplexing. The individual responsible for this must have been an expert in the field of digital manipulation and deception. They must have been a sorcerer with godlike powers who had complete control over every facet of my current electronic existence. Again, however, I find myself getting distracted. I would want to take this opportunity to explain how empowering and freeing it is to make the all-important decision to let go of our desires for the presence of the narcissist in our lives. Taking care of ourselves in this way is a form of self-care that helps us on our path to recovery and cultivates love for ourselves. When we inform the narcissist that we do not require their presence in our lives and that we want them to leave, we have every right to do so. In a very clear and concise manner, we ought to express our disapproval and feelings to them. Finding the appropriate words to protect ourselves from their toxic presence and to expel them from our life is an art form that requires a lot of careful consideration. This declaration has a great deal of weight because it conveys to the narcissists that we have reached the end of our dealings with the damage they have caused. It is of the utmost importance to keep in mind that we could come across contrasting viewpoints, as can be observed in comment sections where some individuals might disagree. Keep in mind that narcissists frequently use words to their advantage by deflecting and manipulating them. Nevertheless, we must always explain ourselves in a calm and truthful manner in order to make it clear that we have no intention of reconciling with the narcissist. It is imperative that we insist that we were the very last people they pushed away if they did in fact forsake us. If they make an attempt to retaliate against us, we must remain steadfast in our refusal to accept them and entirely cut them out from our lives. It is essential to keep in mind that the instances in which a narcissist is perceived to have rejected, pushed, or hurt us were never genuine. Their desire is fueled by any kind of energy that they may acquire, whether it be negative or positive, and they did it solely for the purpose of extracting resources. Rejecting them and exercising control over our own life is something that is up to each of us to do. When it comes to communicating, taking use of the grey rock method is really beneficial when dealing with children. Make it clear that the attention of the conversation should be solely directed upon the children, and refrain from discussing any other topics. Refuse to accept any get-ups that the narcissist offers, and do not give in to their subtle attempts to hoover a room. Maintain a safe distance from them, and make it clear that you have no intention of engaging in conversation with them unless it is in relation to the children. Taking this strategy can be really effective, as it is similar to making a casual remark that they won't be able to ignore. Through this activity, we are able to imitate their actions and bring them to an understanding of the anguish and suffering that they have given us. It is an important step on the path to our recovery process. Let's discuss about the attempts made by Hoover. The fact that I was aware of it did not prevent me from being taken aback when it actually occurred to me. Because of the suddenness and incapacitating nature of it, we are required to remain attentive. It is possible that you have already had your own encounter with a Hoover, and if you did not respond to them, it most likely dealt them a serious narcissistic injury of a significant nature. It is for this reason that I strongly recommend that you reject their attempts each and every time. By working together, we have the ability to inflict the most severe narcissistic injury on them, and then we can abandon them to wreak havoc in their chaotic universe, while they search for a new source of nourishment. I apologize for being so forthright, but if they want to spend the rest of their life in a chaotic society, we ought to give them permission to do so. The most important thing is to insist that they must never, under any circumstances, get in touch with us on another occasion. This is the most effective and freeing step that we can take toward our own self-care and healing, and it is the step that we should take. The narcissist is struck like a bolt of lightning when they come to the realization that they are unable to reclaim us. They are relentless in their pursuit of us, attempting to reclaim the pedestal that we saw them on. On the other hand, this critical juncture in our recovery process is one that deals a significant blow to them in terms of their narcissistic wounded. This shatters their fragile ego to a great extent. In spite of the fact that we are not aware of it, as empaths, we have been responsible for these scars along the twisting course of our lives. It is an intricate topic that should be investigated, possibly in a video that will be released in the future. The fact that you are here with us today is a source of immense gratitude, and we cannot express how much we value your support enough. In the event that you have not already done so, we would be grateful if you would show your support by subscribing to our channel. Keep up with us for more videos that will captivate you. I am grateful to you. This is the stage of super empathy to eradicate narcissists in this world. Super empaths are often revered as the epitome of empathetic individuals, largely due to their possession of a remarkable ability known as the empath supernova, particularly effective in dealing with narcissists. This phenomenon draws parallels to supernova, celestial explosions, marking the culmination of a large star's life, unleashing a magnificent burst of gas and dust into space. Similarly, super empaths, though seemingly depleted and broken after enduring narcissistic abuse, are poised for transformative eruption. Let's delve into the stages of the empath supernova, a formidable blow to a narcissist's ego. Stage 1. Awareness dawns as they recognize the pervasive influence of abuse in their lives. A profound empathetic nature enables them to discern patterns of manipulation and gaslighting perpetuated by narcissists or other abusive individuals. Empowered by their inherent self-worth, super empaths swiftly grasp these dynamics, refusing to endure them beyond their tolerance threshold. This pivotal stage entails acknowledging the recurring instances where the narcissist's words or actions inflicted distress, often dismissed in the face of guilt trips or insincere apologies. They become vigilant, scrutinizing the narcissist's every utterance for signs of deceit or denigration, harnessing their burgeoning star-like energy in preparation for a transformative outburst. Stage 2. Reflecting on the positive aspects of their relationship with the narcissist, super empaths embark on a quest to retaliate. Amid escalating abuse patterns, memories of their bond with the perpetrator resurface. Whether it's a romantic partner, a parent, or a friend, instances of deception come to light, undermining the empath's trust. Initially, grappling with the notion of leveraging this knowledge for vengeance seems inconceivable. However, as we'll soon discover, their innate warmth and compassion wane with time. Stage 3. Empathy gives way to apathy as super empaths grow increasingly cold and hostile. Exposure to toxic narcissists, who exploit empathy to fuel their own egos, erodes the empath's emotional resilience. Gradually, the prospect of inflicting pain upon their loved ones ceases to repulse them. Instead, it becomes a tantalizing prospect. The narcissist perceives this transformation as a victory, believing they've extinguished the empath's spirit, reducing them to a mere conquest. Yet, if confronted with a super empath, the narcissist is in for a spectacle. The impending supernova explosion looms on the horizon, poised to illuminate the sky like a colossal star. Stage 4. A transformative shift occurs as the super empath begins to wield the very tactics employed by the narcissist. Bereft of their usual empathic compass, they venture into uncharted territory, embracing traits typically associated with narcissism. Initially tentative, they test the waters with subtle jabs, perhaps mocking a smudge on the narcissist's attire or deriding their taste in television. Yet, as they experience the exhilaration long enjoyed by the narcissist, their demeanor turns increasingly venomous. Assuming the role of a mirror, akin to the Hyoka empath, they reflect the narcissist's hurtful actions with precision. Armed with intimate knowledge of the narcissist's vulnerabilities, they strategically employ their empathy as a weapon, intensifying their explosive energy. Every memory becomes a potent tool in their arsenal, expertly wielded against the narcissist with unparalleled finesse. On a separate note, if you're enjoying the insights shared in this video thus far, consider showing your support by clicking the like and subscribe buttons to continue your learning journey. It's a small investment with big returns. In the 5th stage, the empath undergoes a remarkable metamorphosis, blossoming with newfound confidence and self-worth. With each display of mental acrobatics that rattles the narcissist's boundaries, the super empath's aura expands, fueled by their burgeoning stellar energy. Once a mere shell with a flickering flame, they now bask in the radiance of their strengthening fire, rejuvenated with each triumph over the narcissist. It's as if they've been granted a second chance at life, a chance to settle scores with past tormentors. Each strategic victory sparks a surge of exhilaration, propelling them further down the path of self-discovery. They reconnect with their true essence, rediscovering their morals, beliefs, and passions, untainted by the influence of their abuser. A glimmer of hope emerges on the horizon, a future where they're no longer tethered to the whims of a narcissist, where their time and energy are no longer sacrificed in a futile attempt to please. Yet, the prospect of severing ties with a narcissist, be it a family member or a romantic partner, evokes a sense of trepidation. The daunting realization dawns, the ultimate confrontation, the final showdown with the narcissist. They understand that in order to reclaim their autonomy, they must confront the one they once loved, even if it means enduring heartache. As the super empath envisions a future bathed in happiness and light, they're steadfast in their resolve. This is the only path forward. Level 6. The empath reaches a pinnacle of unyielding honesty and total disapproval. They maintain this unwavering level of empathy until the culmination of the narcissistic rage. At this juncture, the super empath adopts a demeanor of coldness and spite, shedding their former innocence for a demeanor reminiscent of the very narcissist they oppose. Gone are the days of compliments. In their place are brutal truths, articulating the depth of the super empath's disdain. As the narcissist's anger mounts, they naively believe they can outmaneuver the empath's impending explosion. However, unbeknownst to them, the super empath draws upon every fragment of their ego, fortified by newfound confidence and resilience. There's a kernel of truth to the empath's assurance. Their humility and self-assuredness remain unwavering, a stark contrast to the narcissist's fragile ego. They hearken back to their pre-narcissist self, clinging to their intrinsic goodness despite the gaslighting endured. The narcissist's futile attempts to elicit a reaction prove fruitless. The super empath remains stoic, unfazed by their provocations. As the stage is set for the supernova's grand finale, the empath explodes with a torrent of pent-up emotions, pushing the narcissist's ego to its breaking point. Every fear, every vulnerability is ruthlessly exposed, fortified by the super empath's meticulous gathering of evidence against the narcissist's defenses. The balance of power shifts drastically as the narcissist finds themselves stripped of their dominance, overshadowed by the indomitable presence of the super empath. Their wounded pride festers like venom coursing through their veins, rendering them unable to bear any further candid feedback. Confronted with their reflection, they recoil in fear at the formidable figure of the super empath, who has assimilated their every stratagem, emerging even stronger. Bolstered by unwavering strength and unwavering self-esteem, the super empath stands as an impenetrable force, impervious to defeat. Now it's the narcissist who trembles, pleading for redemption and promising change, yet their hollow words fall on deaf ears. The super empath has heard such promises before and knows better than to succumb to their deceit. With a final act of rejection, the empath deals the fatal blow to the narcissist's ego, shattering it to pieces. Faced with rejection, the narcissist retreats, fleeing from the scene, leaving the empath to bask in newfound solitude and safety, liberated from the shackles of manipulation and deception. Stage 7. Once liberated from the narcissist's grip, the super empath may grapple with fears of losing their empathetic nature. Having displayed their supernova state and escaped the narcissist's torment, they find themselves wrestling with the lingering remnants of narcissistic traits. This prospect is unsettling, as the warmth and love once felt remain elusive, replaced by a sense of coldness and bitterness. Their interactions with friends take on a tone of sarcasm and cynicism, occasionally tinged with hints of control, an apt description of the phenomenon known as narcissistic fleas. The toll of enduring prolonged abuse manifests in the adoption of similar traits, a byproduct of the empathic supernova's necessity. Seeking therapy is paramount for those grappling with the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, as the trauma can linger indefinitely without proper support. For further insight into the dynamic between super-empaths and narcissists, consider exploring interviews with greater narcissists. 8th stage. Ultimately, the ordeal becomes a catalyst for growth and self-improvement. With support from professionals or loved ones, the super-empath gradually reclaims their sense of self. It's essential for them to acknowledge that they can never revert entirely to their pre-abuse selves. Experience